was once the captain of the Nigerian Super Eagles and did very, very well. Been in church for the last Sunday morning, first service, second service, command the day midnight prayer. Monday, command the day midnight prayer. Tuesday morning, healing and deliverance service, command the day midnight prayer. Tuesday, Wednesday, command the day midnight prayer. Literally on the ground. On Tuesday morning, I saw how overwhelmed he was by the presence and power of God in the ground. And I wanted him to say a word of his experience so far. Joseph Yobo.
Good evening,
Please
church. Good evening, church. It's a great pleasure to be in the house of God and getting to meet Daddy, the man of God. I think is by divine intervention. Let me just go back a little bit. But Daddy, please, may I humbly ask, because you said something earlier about praise dimension. You know, that's been one of my strengths. May I humbly request for a song, sir? I think the song has been sung before, but I just to put me in the spirit. Please, can you put back the song on I Never Knew You Would Honor Me This Way?
He's still bouncing like he wants to play football.
I never knew you would honor me this way. I never knew you would honor me this way. I never knew you would honor me this way. You honor me this way. I never knew you would honor me. I never knew you would honor me this way. Thank you, Jesus.
I don't know if to testify going back or going forward, but one of my assistants that used to work for me said something. He says, since I moved back to Nigeria, I've never really talked about my career. I've not done nothing. So I'm going to use the opportunity, Daddy, to say a word. My career is very divine. How it happened, I don't know. Like, I'll talk a bit more about the national team. You know, to finish secondary school and just travel abroad, broke into the national team, became a very dominant force. I knew that could only happen because of the power of God. There's always, when you see the Super Eagles and the national team, is one of the biggest brands in Nigeria, so the competition is very high. But I knew my source was from God, and I knew that God put me there for a reason. I happened to play, not only to play for the Super Eagles of Nigeria, but also to captain the national team, and to go from year 1 to year 14. That's a long time to play for 14 years. And even when the conspiracies and things were happening, I said, no, God brought me here for a reason. I will achieve everything God brought me here to do, and I will leave at my own time. And it happened that way. I left on my own terms. So all glory, all honor, all adoration, all praises be ascribed to the name of the Lord. Yeah. Coming to this church, I've always followed Daddy online, and something happened prior to me being here. My other brother called me out of the blue, and he said he wanted me to meet Daddy, the man of God here. And me being me, I love God, I worship God, I serve God, I try to do my best. And I asked myself, why? Why Daddy? Why Dunamis Church? I've never been there, and it's in Abuja. From what I know, the headquarters is in Abuja, and I live in Lagos most times when I'm in the country. And he said, yes, I have to do it. But I was fighting with myself. It took about a year of indecision. And last week, I came to Abuja. I finished my business meetings and things that I have to do, and I wanted to go back. And on trying to book my return flight, I called my assistant. He told me he couldn't get a seat for me. I'm like, wow, how come? I called my travel agency. They couldn't get me a seat. I called the protocols at the airport, because for some reason, God has placed us, so we always find a way out. They couldn't get me a seat. I said, okay, book me a flight back to Port Harcourt. Let me go and see my mother. Still, there was no seat. Then I knew God really wanted me to be here. So I stayed behind from Thursday and I attended the service on Sunday. And that's how I met Daddy. But being here has been amazing. I can't really say how I feel. But most importantly for me, when I met Daddy, he said, we're trying to look at the date for me to go and come back. I said, no. God just, there's a spirit that just told me no, now. So I changed all my plans and I told him I wanted to stay. He told me I'll be here for a few days. I said, yes, I'm ready. The 3 days experience has been wonderful. It's been amazing. My life is getting to that full completion, because when God gives you a purpose, it's left for you to fulfill it and find it. And me coming here now, and I understand the reason God brought me here, I'm getting close to my purpose. And coming here to pray wasn't me actually asking for anything in particular. But what I felt these 3 days is the utmost peace that I felt for over 1 year. Like, I stayed in the lodge here, and without distraction, I'm praying. So anytime I turn on the TV, I see the man of God, I see the activities of God going on. So that kept me really inclined and in tune with the work of God. This hasn't happened in my life at all. No matter how comfortable you have a home or how your house is, I do pray, but it's nothing compared to the experience that I've had here. And I must say, I'm already thinking, how do I relocate here? But that I will let God to decide, because I'm here, I'm filled with the Spirit. I have children, I have kids. And sometimes as a father, as a parent, there are things that happen with your children. And most recently, I have 2 boys, and I've seen things that happen to them. But I take it lightly. I pray, but I don't have that power. I would rather call another man of God to say, come and pray for my children. So I told God while I was here, I said, God, fill me with your power. Use me more in your kingdom. Because I believe that one of the reasons that God gave me talent and put me in a position was to use it and glorify his name. And think that I found here since I've been here. Thank you, everybody.
Give the Lord a big clap and a shout of praise. There was something, no matter all the things, there was still that vacuum that needed to be filled. And God filled it. Like he said, I said, well, you didn't come planning to stay, so can you go back? I'll give you some time to pray and some days of retreat. And he said, no, he's ready to stay right now. He said, I should give him any number of days he wants to remain and all of that. I believe God is changing somebody's life. How many of you believe that God will